Not many homes back up to a peaceful nature preserve like this one with a budget-friendly price tag. Today we're in Silver Spring Shores in Ocala and we're checking out this brand new home. You're searching for a home in Florida and you're not ready for the phone call with a realtor or a mortgage broker. I got a QR code on the screen where you can visit the VIP list and just put your information and we'll start sending properties to you right away, just like this brand new construction one. And whenever you're ready for that phone call with a realtor or mortgage broker, it'll be on your terms. I also got a first time home buyer webinar. It's happening like 1 to 2 Thursdays from now. So on that same link, you'll be able to access the webinar where we'll go over like first time home buyer things, down payment programs, closing costs, best practices, what to do, what not to do. Maybe some recent success stories, like we just closed one the other day with a combined closing cost of like $2,600 because we got concessions and down payment programs, and we're closing another one for like $1,500 total. So if you want more information on like what the home buying process feels like for a first time home buyer, or you haven't bought a home in a while, I encourage you to visit that webinar. It's free, it's on Zoom virtually, so you can kind of get an idea of what that process looks like working with me and buying a home in Florida. This home here is gonna be on a corner lot. We're in Silver Spring Shores, and if you wanna be like 10 minutes or less from like a Publix and a Walmart and like 20 minutes away from a Target, this area here is, you know, far enough in the outskirts, but close enough to like the main attractions that you'll have a good situation going on here. And you back up to a nature preserve right over there. So that's pretty unique about this property. That's the home right there. And you got a covered lanai as well. I'll go over the numbers and everything at the end of this video. If it's your first time on this channel, my name is Joe Denny. I'm a Florida realtor and mortgage broker. I'm able to shop 61 different lenders with one credit pull. And if you want, let me know. We could do a soft credit pull at first to get that process started and get a conversation going. I would say if you're like 6 months or more out, soft credit pulls make sense. 6 months or less, definitely hard credit pull so we can get the pre-approval started. Now, let's take a look at this house and you kind of get an idea that this is a unique floor plan. You can even see from the outside. You got the garage on the side of the house, and this garage, I see a lot of garages, has 2 windows. So not sure if that's a pro or a con. You guys let me know in the comments. But look at this lot. This is your corner lot with backing the nature preserve. Let's take a look inside at your brand new home. You can kind of see also that you have this long driveway, and I'm assuming you should be able to park like right here on this side. So you'll probably be able to put like 1, 2, probably 2 or 3 cars there. There's no HOA and no CDD, so if you want to park one on the grass, totally up to you. But then you have the 2-car garage. I probably wouldn't park there, so oncoming traffic doesn't hit you. I probably wouldn't park over there either, right by the stop sign. You have a lot of space for parking, so this is great for that big family who doesn't need a really big home. They just need something functional, you know, just to go to school, go to work, but they need space for like a bunch of cars. This is gonna be a really good scenario for them. Let's go to the entrance. See, you can kind of see there's windows here that look into the garage. Not sure if you can see it from the camera, but we'll go in the garage in a moment as well. So, corner lot, awesome patio, 2-car garage, lanai in the back as well. This one checks off a lot of boxes. Before we go inside, let's look around the outside at the back as well. All right, so you can kind of see where that flagpole is at over there. That's going to be where the property line ends over there. And there's a sign that says boundary. The Marjorie Harris Car Cross Florida Greenway boundary. You guys kind of pause that and read that if you would like. You got kind of like a fence situation going on right there. This is your house. By the way, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 3,000 subs. I think we're like at 2,700. Also, if you're still watching and you made it this far and you just want to see the home, I made it super easy. I have a second channel. If you click on the link or the QR code, sorry, or in the link in the description, there's a second channel with just the walkthroughs of these homes where it's just a little bit of music in the background. So if you just want the straight walkthroughs of those homes, I'm gonna put a video, this actual home as well, on that link. So join that second channel if you just want that quiet walkthrough. Let's step inside. We are in your living room. Luxury flooring, luxury finishes, luxury area. Whoa, we're not too far from the World Equestrian Center. Minutes away from Market Street at Heathbrook. You got State Road 200, College Road, where it has all the dining, entertainment, all the fun stuff. So let's say you love a bunch of restaurants. They got them. Movie theaters, they got 2. Crumble Cookie, they got 1. Tesla chargers, they have a bunch. Also, if you have kids, tons of family-friendly things to do around here. A bunch of parks, state parks. They have a Sky Zone right there on College Road, State Road 200. And they also got Chuck E. Cheese there, a bunch of things to do for all different ages. And if you're getting a little bit older and you want to enjoy the retirement, it's pretty quiet out here as well. Golf course is not too far from here. The Villages is not too far from here. So if you don't want to pay Villages pricing, you can kind of move over here and get a good deal. Now, as far as the dimensions go of your living room, you're going to have 15.37 by 12.07. And you're going to have the vaulted ceilings as well. You got some ceiling fans throughout the property and some beautiful light fixtures as well. The actual lot size is 0.31, so you're close to 1/3 of an acre. Square footage on the home is just under 1,500, so you're in the mid 1400s. 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, quartz countertops. You have this oversized sink over here with some very, very nice finishes. You have this gold accent with this black. Plus, they put the backsplash. A lot of builders in this price point, they're not even putting the backsplashes. You got so many awesome things about this property. I actually sold this same property it was a little bit different, the floor plan, but it was the same builder not too long ago. My clients are super happy with what they bought. You even have this magnificent island here. They even put some of the hardware here. Some of the builders cheap out on putting the hardware, and it's soft close. I was about to test that out by putting my hand there, but I won't do that again. You have enough space here. You could probably put some seats here. So if you have like a smaller family, you can kind of just eat here. You may not need any furniture in here for like dining for the family. Utilities, you're gonna have well water and you're gonna have an aerobic septic system. One of the benefits of having the well and the septic is that you're gonna be able to save some money on the utilities there. But in this area, there's also, if you would like me to find for you, there's options with public water as well, if you're not a big well person. This side of the house, you're gonna have 2 of the rooms and you're gonna have 1 of the full bathrooms right behind me. I'm really digging the gold accents throughout the entire house. So you have gold there, you have a gold up there, gold there, gold here. Beautiful. So this is your bathroom. So you guys can kind of get an idea. Some very luxurious finishes in here. We got 2 rooms. So this one here, you're gonna be at 10.49 by 11.72. And you have those sliding doors for your closet. This one here, you can actually see the backyard. The next room is 9.48 by 10.4. So a little bit smaller, feels a little bit smaller. You can see the front of the house from here. Same two doors there. And I'm really digging that these are not cookie cutter doors. They even have like nice cutouts there, even down to these little closet doors as well. Check this out. You have your linen closet right over here. Let's check out your pantry. All right, that's where the snacks are gonna go. Right over here, you're gonna have your laundry room. Another little closet here. Now, for your laundry room, you're gonna have, okay, so we have 6 by 7.99 as far as your laundry room goes, and we're in your garage. So this is awesome. Like, it's really hot outside. I'm not really feeling it that hot in here. You have a 2-car garage. Let's measure the space in here. 19.77 by 21.64. So you got the 2-car garage here, and you got those 2 windows that kind of allow you to look outside. Let me know in the comments if this is a pro or a con for you, having windows in your actual garage. And now, let's check out your primary. All right, so in your primary, 14.17 by 13.92. And you have the tray ceilings up there. This closet, very nice size walk-in closet, 5.62 by 8.39. Did I forget to mention that there's no carpet in this house? This is an amazing deal. You have no carpet in this house as well, so that's a plus. And if you hire me, I'll fight for you to get the remaining light bulbs, because you kind of can't see it. Oh, but there's only one light bulb there. So a good realtor notices things like that. All right, we're in your primary bathroom. You got the dual sink vanity, huge mirror here. You got the shower. You know, we're working with like 1,400 square feet, so they did what they could with the space. If it was a little bit bigger, it'd be nice to have like a tub as well. And you have another linen closet here for the towels. I'm about to give you guys more property information when I get back to the home studio. We're gonna go over like payment scenarios, different fees like down payments, closing costs, how the home buying process looks like. But let me know what you think so far about this property. You know, subscribe to the channel, drop a like. Also follow the social media pages. We're going to a lot of different places and we're doing a lot of behind the scenes. Not every property that we visit makes it to the channel, but if you're able to catch a highlight of a property that you like and you actually want a video of it, then I don't mind going back and actually doing a video. So I'm seeing like 5, 6, 7 properties in a day and we can only record 1, 2, or 3. There might be one that you saw on the social media briefly that you like. So follow the social medias because there's a lot of value over there as well and behind the scenes things. But let's get the drone up in the air, get you guys the aerials of the house, of the outside, and then we'll make it back to the home studio to talk about the numbers and the home buying process as well. Let's go over some of the numbers on this property, some more details about it, and a little bit about the home buying process. We are in 34472 Silver Spring Shores. The home itself is $299,900, so we're just under $300,000. Might as well say 300,000. We're at 321454 on well and aerobic septic with 0.31 as far as the lot size goes. When it comes to property taxes, The current taxes on the property itself are just on the land value. And what happens is after the sale happens, a few months later, the property taxes will get reassessed. They will get corrected. They will get recalibrated. The correct amount of property taxes will be charged later on. But what often happens is, depending on what loan officer you use or realtor or what builder you go with, they'll escrow the incorrect amount by charging you monthly what the taxes were on the land value only. And I've heard of that happening when they're trying to just close the deal, if the DTI is tight, different scenarios where they're like, let's just get this deal done. Because they have the option to figure out how much they're gonna escrow within their estimates. Then what happens about a year later, the bank who's collecting your money monthly for your taxes and insurance gets the bill and there's an escrow shortage, and that's the horror stories that you hear about. Oh my God, my taxes went up. So not only did they get adjusted going forward, but because of the shortage up to that date, it's like it went up not double, but like 1.5 or whatever. And it seems like it's a big sticker shock when the person wasn't prepared for it. So to prepare for that, you can go to the property appraiser website or the tax collector website, and they have tax estimator tools that you can kind of use to determine what the taxes will be. When I did it on a property like this, it was estimating around 1.45%. The difference is if you're buying it for a primary residence versus an investment property, you will get possibly lower taxes it being on a primary residence because you'll have the homestead exemption. On a investment property, you're not going to get the homestead exemption there. This property does not have an HOA or CDD. So for these scenarios that we're going to show you with the numbers, we're going to be using a 362 monthly number with the taxes, potential rates between 6.5 to 6.875, and the actual interest rates can change every day. So until the day that your rate is actually locked with the bank, the rate can change every day. Let me give you guys a really cool tip if you don't already know this. When you are in a contract to buy a house, there's a potential closing date. It's not that it's not set in stone, but sometimes things change where it can be moved up sooner, or sometimes, unfortunately, it could be extended due to unforeseen circumstances. But the day that you close makes a difference in how much your closing costs are. See, they're prorating and prepaying certain things on the loan, like you're prorating taxes, you're prepaying insurance. There's so many different things that are going on. You're also prepaying the interest. If you were to close later in the month, there's only a few days left. So the prepaid interest for that month is going to be smaller. So your total cash to close should be smaller if you're closing later in the month. If you're closing earlier in the month, your cash to close will be higher because you're prepaying more interest for that month. The following month, right after you close, there's not going to be a mortgage payment. So you don't skip a payment, but you skip a month because the first payment is going to be after that. Then what's going to happen is in that first payment, they would have also included the interest in arrears for that month that you just skipped. So a lot of people can use this information and they can kind of like time it correctly and kind of like probably start their process sooner, and they're not going to fall into a trap of having to pay an extra mortgage payment at their current house and the new house, an extra rent payment here. So this gives you a little bit of flexibility where you're able to skip that month and you're able to pay the payment after that. Not sure if you already knew that. So that's what I highlighted there. If you want more information on that and to give you actual scenarios, let me know. Now, the first scenario that we're going to go over is 3.5% down FHA. So on a $299,900, the 3.5% down is right around $10,497. The closing costs are the fees associated when you're buying a property. Now, there's lender fees, title fees, lien search fees, doc stamps, prepaid taxes, insurance. There's so many different fees involved in buying a house. What's awesome is, depending on how motivated the seller is, we can ask them to help pay some of your closing costs. So in these scenarios that I'm using, I'm going to use a 4% number. It could be anywhere between 3, 4, 5, 6%, depending on your scenario. So at that 4%, you're going to be at $11,996. The monthly payment on an FHA loan with today's rate is gonna fall right around the mid 2,000 on this property. If we're able to get the seller to pay like all of your closing costs, you'll be out of pocket just around 10,500, and what's gonna happen is you'll be around 2,400 a month. So you probably could get this house for the low 10, 11,000s versus having to possibly pay all the cash to close with concession. So my goal is to get you a deal, and I'm seeing a lot of deals in the Ocala area. So we'll come in strong with a good offer to see if we can get you some concessions. The max concession, and a concession, by the way, is when you ask the seller to help you with some of your fees. They just call it a concession. But there's different ways to ask for a discount. You can ask for it off the price. Think about this. Every $10,000 that you ask for, it could be around $50 a month. So you got to ask yourself, do I want $10,000 off the price? That's going to be $50 a month, basically 10K off over the next 30 years. Or do I want to ask for 10K as a concession, which can be applied at closing in the next 3 to 5 weeks? So you get to decide how you want to ask for that discount. So if you're very cash heavy, then yeah, asking it off the price might be the best thing. But if you're like strapped for cash or every dollar matters, then you should ask for it as a closing cost concession. That's what I would do. VA loan, 100% financing, same purchase price, $299,900, which is $0 down. Closing costs will be pretty much the same there. Payments are going to be low to mid 2,000s on this property. Closing costs right around 4%, but we can ask for some concessions to help out. And in a perfect scenario, the concessions, if we ask for enough concessions to cover like all of your closing costs, there's still going to be a deposit that's due even with a VA loan. But I've had scenarios where my buyer gets a refund at closing after everything gets balanced out. Now, one of the things you have to also know is when you're buying a home, there's also a home inspection that's done within the first week and an appraisal that's done within the second or third week. We'll go over that as well on the slides coming up. Conventional 5% down. This is going to be same price, $299,900. Then we're going to have a down payment of $14,995. Closing costs are the same. Payments are going to float right around $2,478. Max, the concession you can ask for is $89.97. Total cash to close is going to be around $27,000. Conventional loans, after you pay off a certain amount, you'll be able to get rid of the mortgage insurance. Whereas the FHA loans, the mortgage insurance is there for the life of the loan. So that might be one of the benefits in the long run to go with the conventional route. So typically, if your credit's like 620 or higher, you might want to go conventional route. Your credit's like 580 to 620, you want to go FHA. I can actually go down to 500 FHA. It's just going to be a more substantial, a bigger down payment, 10%. Plus, you might have to pay some points as well. Conventional loan with 10% down. Let's say you're watching these videos from California, Canada, New York. Well, maybe not Canada, that's a different type of loan. But anywhere in the country, you might have an option for a 10% down second loan. I do have international products as well, foreign national loans. But in the country, you can have a 10% down option if you work somewhere else and you want to buy a home here and you want to lock in the prices before the prices go up and you want to visit every so often. Not to be confused with buying the home and renting it out as an investment property. That's going to be a 20% down with a higher interest rate. But if it's your second home, you might be able to get away with it with a 10% down, which would be $29,990. Closing costs sometimes on these products are a little bit higher and the rates are sometimes a little bit higher as well. But let's just give you an estimate right around the low 2,000s, around $8,900 for the concessions we can ask for. 40 to 50K all in with down payment and closing costs potentially without any concessions there. 20% down as a primary residence, it's going to be around $59,980 down, 4% for that, no PMI. So your payment's going to be around $2,001. Max concession a little bit there. You'll be floating around the $70,000 price point more or less. But if you're buying it as an investment property, the payments are going to be a little bit higher because two things happen. Your taxes are not going to get a homestead exemption, so the taxes are going to be a little higher because you're losing a discount there. And your interest rate's going to be a little bit higher. Well, another thing's going to happen. Your interest rate's going to be higher, and potentially your insurance might be higher because you're not the one living in it, and the insurance company doesn't know who's going to live in it. So 2 to 3 things potentially would make an investment property a little bit pricier monthly than a primary residence. So it could be as low as 2001, and it could be a little higher as well. The good news about that 20% down option is if you're having trouble with proof of income or your DTI is super tight, I'm able to get you a loan, a DSCR loan, where we won't look at your income or your tax returns. So we have different creative options to help you as well. Rents are low in the area, $1,950 to $2,200. It seems like the sales prices are accelerating faster than the rental prices out there. So it's only a matter of time before it hopefully balances out where the rents also increase, but the prices have increased a lot in the area, but it's still super affordable based on what you can buy in different parts of Florida over there. Now, we're gonna talk about the home buying process to kind of give you guys an idea of like what that looks like. In these next slides, I actually go over them when I'm doing my home buyer seminars via Zoom. So if you already attended one of those, you can skip this next part because you already know what we're gonna kind of go over here. So this is your Florida home buying guide. First things first, I'm a licensed mortgage loan originator. So I work with a mortgage broker. And one of the benefits of having a realtor who also does mortgages is I can kind of peek behind the curtain to see what's going on with your financing. I can accelerate things, slow things down if you need to, and I can help you get better deals and configure things a certain way, and also explain things a little bit better. And I've had a way better experience now being not on both sides, because I'm not allowed to do both on the same transaction. That's why I have two separate teams. I have a mortgage team and I have a real estate team. But if I have one LO working the deal and one of my agents working the real estate side, I'm still involved. I'm still communicating with the client. So you have three for the price of one. I can kind of see where we can fix things on both sides. So that's one of the benefits working with me. With one credit pool, we're able to shop 61 lenders. And if you're not ready for that hard credit pool right away, just let me know and we can start off with a soft credit pool. I've done a few soft credit pools this week for people that are not even a year out. They're probably further out, just because they want to get an idea of what they could possibly qualify for when they're buying a house. Now, once we get past that part, there's a rule that you have to be in some sort of agreement with the realtor, and there's several options, but two of the main options are the exclusive buyer-broker agreement and the showing agreement. A showing agreement is a more temporary agreement where it's like you want to see a few houses for a week or something like that. The exclusive buyer-broker agreement, that's gonna be more for like, you already know you wanna commit to this person, so let's just lock it in. Pretty much everybody who's like found me like on YouTube, Instagram, all those different social media platforms, they just wanna go exclusive. They're like, hey, I've done my research, I've watched enough videos, I wanna work with you. But there's times where I meet people that are referrals from those people that they just don't know yet. So I'm perfectly fine signing a temporary agreement saying, hey, I'll just show you houses for a day or two. And I'm not gonna charge you anything to show you houses, which is pretty cool. Now, there's a bunch of buyer protections as well in those documents, and I'll give you my personal guidance. I wanted to talk to you about how I kind of interact with the clients. So if you were to like reach out to me, there's multiple ways to reach out. You can actually call me, text me, email me, go on that VIP list and put your criteria. And then when I get to the computer, I put a search together on my website that gets directly emailed to you. And sometimes I'll text you the link as well. The easiest way to collaborate is you looking through the website at the properties that are there, favoriting the ones that you like, and they're gonna be saved in your portal, and then us figuring out a time to meet, and then us seeing some of the homes that you saved. It has never worked out for me in my 6 to 7 years of doing this. Hundreds of homes sold. It's never worked out for me like it does on the TV shows where someone says, you pick the houses and then we'll just see them. This is my budget. It's so weird because it's like, we don't like the same thing, and then I'll pick some houses out and then you're like, oh, they look kind of weird. So it's always worked out better if I figure out your initial criteria, put a property search together for that criteria and send it to you, and you favorite the properties that you like. In one day, I've seen it where anywhere between 5 to 10 properties becomes the sweet spot for showings. When you start getting into the 15, 20, which I've done, and I'm actually gonna do it this Saturday as well, I'm gonna do like 14, the properties start getting confusing and people start forgetting things. So it's really important to bring like a pen and paper to kind of notate what you liked or didn't like. I don't think I've had a scenario yet where I've shown 14, 15 properties in a day and then they weren't confused. But I've had scenarios where I've showed 5, 6 properties because they did their, they scrubbed the list multiple times and they picked 2 or 3 out of the 5. So it's like the people that are seeing like less houses somehow make a decision faster than the people that are seeing more houses. Either way, I'm gonna help you no matter what. And the way that we do that is through my website, Collaborating. Once we find the property or properties that you like, we're gonna talk about some offers, earnest money deposit, and protective clauses. The offers in Florida are in writing. So this is not New York. This is not like other places where you can call the other agent and say, all right, I'm gonna give you $300K and I want 3 months lease back. I want a car, this and that. No. We gotta put it in writing, and there's none of that like TV stuff. So we're gonna put the offers in writing, and we gotta figure out between 1 to 10% the initial deposit. So you don't send any money when you're sending offers. In fact, you don't even send me any money being your agent. Everything in Florida gets handled through title companies. In other states, there's like lawyers involved, title companies. There might be other ways as well that I'm not aware of. But in Florida, title companies are gonna they're gonna facilitate the transaction. So the 1 to 10% gets sent to the title company if your offer is accepted. And we're gonna add protective clauses into your offer. Protective clauses can also be known as contingencies. When you're buying a home, there's several steps, and we'll go over on the next page. There's the home inspection, the appraisal, there's financing, there's walkthroughs, there's so many things happening. My job is to protect your deposit and protect you, even though I'm not a lawyer, with adding contingencies to the contract. I'm not allowed to rewrite the contract or add verbiage that doesn't, I'm not really a lawyer, so I can't do any of that. But I can use addendums that are provided by lawyers and templates that we can actually just fill in. Some of the contingencies that we're gonna include right away is the home inspection. We're gonna add that within the first few days, you're gonna professionally get the home inspection done. And then if you find any issues, we're gonna try to put it in writing to see what the seller's willing to do to negotiate or fix those issues or bring the price down. The contingency comes in is if you and the sellers don't agree and you wanna back out, then I'll put in writing, hey, we're within our 7 days, our 10 days, I would like the deposit back because we're not meeting in the middle. On the 2nd to 3rd week, you're gonna then hire an appraiser. So the bank's gonna send someone to determine the value of the property. So the first person is determining the condition, second person is determining the value of the property. They don't work together, but they kind of do work together for you. So they're completely different companies, completely different people, they don't know each other. The actual inspection process happens by you picking an inspector. The appraisal process, you don't even get to decide who the appraiser is, so it has to be a non-biased opinion. If you're getting a mortgage, there's gonna be a lot of documents needed throughout the process, and it's gonna be frustrating because even later on, they're gonna ask for some of the documents again, like some updated pay stubs, some updated bank statements, but there are evergreen documents that you don't have to submit again, like tax returns, copies of your ID, social security card, pension letters, 401k letters, 401k statements, yes. Retirement letters, no. But you're gonna have all those documents there. Some are gonna be asked for again. They're gonna be underwriting everything and reviewing it just to get what's called the clear to close. And when we get the clear to close, that's when we're gonna do the final walkthrough, go sign some paperwork, fund the transaction by you sending the rest of your money and the bank sending the rest of their money, and then we're gonna celebrate. Some of the things to look into when you're buying a home in Florida is the homestead exemption, HOA, CDD fees, and new construction benefits. When you're buying the home as a primary residence, there's added protection and some sort of discount that you'll get on your taxes by doing the homestead exemption. The title companies usually will go over how that would work, so they'll break that down for you. Some communities out here are in HOAs and CDDs, and there's a lot of benefits to having new construction. Some of them have warranties. Some of them have different things that you're not gonna be able to find on a current resale home. But that's gonna be it for the numbers and the process on buying a home. If you found any value in this video, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, drop a comment. Let me know what cities you want me to go to next so I can continue doing more videos for new construction. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.